Headphones on, the whispers begin.
Would you dare to leave your children alone in a park? In principle, nothing should happen. It is a place of play and fun. Although, of course, you cannot know who is watching. And if this person is accompanied by some pretty colored balloons, well, things can get worse. The park was alive with laughter, the cries of children playing, and the rustling of leaves in the crisp autumn air. It was a haven in the city, a place where parents felt safe enough to let their children roam free. Yet beneath the surface, something sinister festered, a darkness no one dared acknowledge. Over the course of 5 months, 6 children had disappeared. Each time the story was the same. Witnesses recalled seeing the missing child speaking with a man selling balloons. He was described as unremarkable, a wiry figure in a gray hat and a tattered jacket clutching a handful of vibrant balloons. Yet when police reviewed security footage, there was no trace of him. The children, all smiling and chatting to empty air, simply wandered away into the woods, never to return. The rumors spread like wildfire. Parents whispered about the balloon man, and children spoke of him in hushed tones, terrified yet intrigued. Then one day the balloons began appearing. They floated aimlessly through the park, untethered and silent, their bright colors mocking the somber mood that now blanketed the area. No one claimed to have seen who brought them, yet they were always there, drifting just out of reach. And each time a balloon appeared, another child vanished. Lila Sanderson's 7-year-old son, Noah, was among the missing. For months, she'd waded through sleepless nights and a haze of grief that gnawed at her sanity. But she refused to give up. Armed with her camera and sheer desperation, she began spending every evening in the park, watching, waiting. One cold evening, as the last rays of sunlight bled into the horizon, she saw them, a cluster of balloons tangled in the branches of an ancient oak. They swayed in the wind, yet there was no breeze. The park was eerily silent, devoid of the usual hum of life. Heart pounding, she approached the tree, her fingers gripping the camera like a lifeline. A faint giggle broke the silence. High-pitched and otherworldly. She spun around, but the park was empty. As she turned back to the balloons, she froze. A shadow, impossibly thin and elongated, stretched out from behind the tree. It wasn't hers. It moved independently, slithering toward her like an inky serpent. As it reached her feet, a voice rasped from the void.
"Do you want to see them again?"
Lila stumbled backward, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Her instincts screamed at her to run, but the shadow seemed to coil around her, rooting her in place.
"Your son misses you,"
the voice continued, dripping with mockery.
"Follow me and I'll take you to him."
Against her better judgment, she nodded, tears streaming down her face. The shadow slithered away, leading her into the woods. The air grew colder with every step, the trees towering like skeletal sentinels. The path twisted unnaturally, looping back on itself, yet always leading her deeper. Soon, the woods gave way to a clearing dominated by an old, decrepit carousel. It groaned as it turned, the chipped horses bobbing up and down in slow, labored movements. Tied to each horse was a balloon, their colors faded and smeared with what looked disturbingly like dried blood. In the center of the carousel stood the balloon man. His face was wrong, distorted, as though someone had crudely sculpted it out of wax and left it to melt. His eyes were empty sockets, yet Lila felt them boring into her soul. His smile stretched too wide, revealing rows of yellowed, jagged teeth. The missing children were there, their small forms huddled around him. Their eyes were glassy, their faces slack, as if they were puppets waiting for strings to be pulled. Noah was among them, his cheeks hollow and his skin pallid. "Let him go!" Lila screamed, lunging forward, but the balloon man raised a hand. The shadows surged, slamming her to the ground.
"You can have him,"
he said, his voice a guttural growl.
"But only if you take his place."
Before she could respond, Noah turned to her, his lips parting in a silent scream. His mouth stretched wider and wider until his jaw cracked. revealing the same jagged teeth as the balloon man. The other children followed suit, their tiny bodies twisting and contorting into grotesque, inhuman shapes. Lila's scream echoed through the woods, but no one heard. By morning, the park was quiet again, save for a single red balloon drifting aimlessly in the breeze. Would you like to hear more creepy tales? Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any stories. Here I leave you a story that will scare you. Listen to it if you dare.